My wife and I just spent over $2,000 and a week away from our 3 children to go learn from the best and brightest in digital marketing at the Traffic and Conversion Summit 2019 over in beautiful San Diego, California. And in this video, I'm going to distill down my 5 greatest takeaways from that entire event. By the end of this video, you're going to learn why the funnel is dead and what has replaced it. You're going to learn all about quizzes and video ads and a ton of other tactical, useful tips you'll be able to use in your own marketing and your own business going forward. And now this wasn't some webinar put on by some fake guru. These are the best and the brightest in digital marketing, including Sir Richard Branson. So you want to make sure you stick around to the end to hear the best tips that I got from him. But before we get into that, hey guys, I'm John from IncomeEdge.com. Welcome to the channel. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and like it and leave a comment below to let me know which of these takeaways are your favorite. And with that, let's waste no time and get right into number 1. So the first takeaway was one that I was really shocked about. And this was actually the opener by Ryan Deiss, who's the founder of Digital Marketer, who's an amazing company for digital marketing and education. And he started his entire presentation with the concept that the funnel is dead. And he kind of led up to this with an amazing walk through history where we got to learn about the locomotive. We get to learn about all these different industries where it followed this cycle of, proliferation, adoption, consolidation. I don't have the exact numbers in here, but essentially it's how business cycles decay and grow and change. And essentially, up until this point, digital marketing has always played second fiddle to traditional advertising, being newspapers, radio, print, TV, etc. But this year in 2019 is going to absolutely dominate and become the number 1 platform for marketing spend. So what that means is that times are changing and our tactics have to change with them if we want to succeed and continue to thrive as marketing experts. And he led off with this concept that the funnel is dead because of it in terms of you need to change your approach and think more than just that initial conversion, just doing split testing and just getting that first bit of dollars out of your customer. We need to now switch over to this new model, which he calls the entire customer journey. And essentially the way this works is we all start with our customers down here in the bottom left and they're not very happy. And then our ultimate goal is to get them up here where they're wearing superhero capes and they are on top of the world and they are successful. That is the key phrase. We've always thought about how much money we can make or what our conversion rate is or how many products we can sell. But Ryan Deiss asserts that what we need to start measuring is how many successful customers are we creating as a result of our efforts. That is ultimately going to be the measurement of whether we're successful or not and whether we will continue to survive and thrive or not. And so what he does here is he takes the sales funnel piece of the pie and he puts that in perspective to the entire customer journey. And this is kind of how it's mapped out. In the next slide, I'll show you a bit more of a granular tactical level, but this is more at the high level where you first need to get your customers, the people who are not happy, who need to have something changed and improved in their life, you need to make them aware of you. That's where the content marketing, where you're, the paid advertising, whatever you need to do to get them aware of you and your brand, that's the first step. Beyond that, you need to get them to engage with you, engage with your brand, whether that's to watch a video like this one here on YouTube, or if it's to go to your website and read a blog post, etc., or click on the ad itself. That's the engagement portion of the process. Now, once they have engaged, that's not the end, obviously. You want to make sure you get them to subscribe into your membership, whether that's to get their email for your email autoresponder, or if it's to get them to start a free trial, whatever it is to kind of get them that first action taken towards you, that first micro commitment into your brand, into your ecosystem. Beyond the subscribe phase, now is when you're going to want to look at making that first conversion, and that is when money transacts. So you've gotten them on your email list. Maybe you're giving them a little $7 ebook as a tripwire, something to kind of show they're making that show of faith by giving you a little bit of money. This is not where you're going to be making your profit in your business. This is just that first little step to help you segment who are your browsers and who are your buyers in your list. Now, a critical step here that I think a lot of marketers kind of forget is the excite phase. And this was one where he put really, really well. Essentially, you want to make sure that once they've given you some money, you excite them. You make them absolutely proud to have purchased that and surprised with the amount of value that you're adding to them. So they've already made a show of faith by giving you some money. Now it's your turn to give them the goods. You got to make sure that your products are good, that they actually solve a problem and that's what they need. And if so, then you're going to excite your audience and move them on to the ascend phase, which is where you can start to really make some money. And I'll show you in the next slide. The ascend phase is that sales funnel piece. So really all this up until this point has been other parts of the entire journey, not just the upsells, the downsells, and the bumps, etc. So once they've moved through the ascend phase, again, you want to make sure that they are loving your brand. They're getting value and you're following up with them and making sure that they are successful. Once they become successful, they'll start to become an advocate for you and an advocate for your brand. And then you will achieve Mecca, the ultimate goal here, which is where you have your customers being an active promoter of your brand. Once that has happened, now all of a sudden you don't care what Facebook ads costs go to. You don't care how hard it is to get organic reach on Facebook, because you're going to have your successful customers bringing you additional leads, additional customers, and additional success with your business. So the funnel is dead in that it is now, we have to broaden our perspective, broaden our horizons into this customer journey. Now let's take a deeper look here. So the customer journey, this is where it's actually kind of shown a little bit more detail. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you. So here you can see the prospect sees an ad, they read the blog post, they opt in. It's kind of what we talked through here, but what's kind of important, and it's a little hard to show, is there's actually some arrows that are pointing from step to step. Now, obviously, in this example, it's just showing the happy path going all the way through, but in reality, if they make a purchase, or if they don't make a purchase, you want to have a little bit of a backdrop where they can engage with more content and essentially make a loop until they can successfully promote to the next phase. Now, what happens if they make a purchase, but they're not excited about it? Well, again, you have kind of a rework phase where you need to make sure you don't lose that customer. You want to rework them and get them excited, get them to engage with more content. So you can see kind of how these backdrops and these loops go through, where if they've gone through your core offer, your upsells, but they're not happy and they don't give you a testimonial or a case study, you want to make sure you get them excited again through some other re-engagement processes. So this is a very nice strategic way to look at your entire business model. I mean, this would be your entire information products business model right here on one napkin. And from there, you can go through and figure out what your email opt-ins need to be, what your campaigns need to be, and what your ads need to be to make sure you get them all the way through the process. Very, very great takeaway. The second big takeaway from me was, as an info product marketer, you want to make sure you're always thinking at every step of the business on both the product side and the distribution side. And now when you think about distribution, like that's not really the most common term you've heard here. So let's focus just on the product side. So a product doesn't just mean an ebook. It doesn't just mean a course or anything like that. It could be a blog post, could be a product. Anything where you're getting people to be excited about your brand and they're actually consuming something, that is an example of a product. And on the distribution side, this is how you're getting people aware of that thing, of that product. Now, this is where paid advertising could be an avenue, a distribution channel to get your content in front of your targeted viewers' eyes. It could also be a YouTube video, blog post, finding search engine optimization and getting your blog post found on Google. All of these are examples of distributions. But as you go further along, we'll show here in this graph here, you get more opportunities to distribute your products as they get later on down in the phase. So let's walk through the phases here. So in the info product kind of breakdown here, you've got the attention phase, the subscription phase, the acquisition phase, and the monetization phase. And this almost perfectly lines up with the customer journey here. So let's kind of go ahead and tie these two graphs together. So the attention phase is exactly what it says here, where you want to make them aware of you. So in the example here, if you're an info product marketer, you want to be, writing blog posts or making videos, doing social media posts, or adding podcasts, et cetera, into your attention marketing. And from there, how can you distribute it? From search, social, advertising, etc. Now moving on to subscription, this is where they're going to start to subscribe into your content. And again, you got lead magnets, you got mini classes, you got other different products that you can offer as a lead magnet or as an opt-in bait. And then how you can distribute that, again, through your content organically, through ads, etc. As you can see here, when you go into acquisition phase, this is essentially the convert portion of the customer journey, where you're giving them some actual product where you're expecting some payment for it. Now that could be a watered down version of your premier product, or it could be a separate but related product along the journey, and how you can distribute it there. And then you get your monetization phase, which is, where the real money is made with the core offer and your upsells. And you can see you've got some other ways. You can do webinars, you can do email marketing with some scarcity built in. You've got a lot of different ways you can distribute that content once they've already become a subscriber to your list. So this is an amazing worksheet, and I have a downloadable copy of it in the show notes there. No email required. Just go ahead and click that and you'll be able to receive this worksheet, which is actually really cool. So check it out. It's even clickable and editable, so you can go through and put your content in and make your strategy. This is huge, guys. And not only that, but you can also kind of keep yourself accountable by putting in your target 1 year and 3 year content, and you can kind of pick which versions of these you want to implement in your business and track the results. Awesome. All right, big takeaway number 3 was Billie Jean. I love Billie Jean. At first, I couldn't stand seeing his ads everywhere on my YouTube channel and everywhere on my Facebook news feed, but as I watched him more and I got to understand his style, I respect the dude. He's awesome and he does a great job at getting your attention. And that's exactly what I took away from this conference, was how to make great video ads or great videos in general. And so here is a worksheet, which I'll also link up in the description here, where you can go through and fill this out for yourself. But at a high level view, to make good ads, you want to first kind of make your audience angry, piss them off, as he says. You want to eliminate their guilt, or Russell Brunson would say you want to allay their fears, give them a reason why, if they failed, it's not their fault. And on number 3, you want to offer them the solution to their problems and show them why it's not their fault again. And then 4, you want to give them an easy and urgent call to action. And in 5, this is kind of the ambient version. Let me go over here to the worksheet. So, the 5th thing is make sure that you have good music, good props, good environment, and he says dope footage. And he gives also some resources for how to get that. And I'll be sharing that over time as well. So this example here, I'll just read this off because I thought this was really well done. This was an example Facebook ad for, I think it was a consulting client. And so he says, part 1, which is to piss them off. He says, getting ripped off by Facebook, you spend $100, get 100 clicks, but 0 leads. It's got to be a scam. And when you do get a lead, the quality is absolute crap. You know dang well your customer isn't on Facebook, and if they are, they definitely aren't clicking ads, and they certainly aren't buying your stuff or your stuff. And part 2 is where you're eliminating their guilt. He says, it's not your fault. Prices are at an all-time high. The algorithm is always changing and everything breaks when you try scaling your ads. But can I ask you an honest question? Is it possible that it's not a Facebook error, but a user error? So now he's trying to make a transition where he's going to give the part 3 solution. Advertising should be profitable and not an expense. And it definitely shouldn't be this complicated. So would you like me to run your ads for you? I offer a money-back guarantee, and more importantly, I guarantee quality leads that actually buy. So that's a very easy call to action he's going into now. Click the button and I'll send you some customers for free to earn your trust. P.S. Billie Jean is marketing. Awesome, right? Like, I would click that ad. I'm not looking for a Facebook ads guy, but I would click that ad. So that was a great thing, and I'll include that worksheet for you guys as well in the show notes. Okay, takeaway number 4 was from Ryan Levesque, and I've read Ryan Levesque's book, Ask, and he's all about surveys, all about segmenting his audience, and all about using quizzes in his marketing. And so he started off this talk here where he's showing BuzzSumo, I think it is, or BuzzFeed's article titles, and he's showing the top 3 word phrases with the most Facebook shares. So he's looking for the most viral content on BuzzFeed. And what he found was character RU was the number 1 shared item. And character are you? That's like one of those quizzes, right? Like which Disney character is your dog, or which, all those silly things. I never really do those, but I know a lot of people do it and they share it like crazy. And that's exactly what he shows here. By far, the most popular Facebook viral item is those quizzes. So this is a way to turn 1 lead into 3 leads. If you can run a Facebook ad, for example, into a quiz and then be able to have that thing go viral, it can be shared and shared and get more content from it. Really, really cool thing. What he goes on to show you in the presentation is kind of that 3-step process to make a good capturing quiz. And essentially there are 3 stages. So the first stage is the hook, which is where you're welcoming, kind of that splash screen where you get to tell them what they're going to get from your quiz. Then you have the bridge, which is where you're actually segmenting them and you're diagnosing what's going on, and you're trying to get a better understanding of that lead as they're going through the process. The second part is also where you're capturing the lead's information. So you're having them sign their email address up in order to get the answer. And then once you're providing them the outcome, you also make an offer to them. So if you happen to figure out that, hey, you're a beginner, you can tie that in with a beginner offer and maybe quickly get to that convert stage of the customer journey by having them actually purchase a small priced item along the way. If you're interested about quizzes, I recommend you check out Thrive quiz builder. It is a very affordable and powerful quiz builder that you can use with your marketing, and you can use my link in the description below. It's incomemesh.com/Thrive membership and get quiz builder along with all the other Thrive products, which is an awesome deal. This isn't really a takeaway, but it was a kind of a personal achievement for me. I always like to meet new people in our space, and I got to meet on the left here Nick Loper from Side Hustle Nation, and on the right is Adam Prazer, who's from WP Crafter. Both awesome guys, had great conversations with them, and just really happy to be in this awesome community with them. So the fifth takeaway was on the end of the first night, on the end of the opening night, we got the huge treat of having Sir Richard Branson. He's actually knighted by the Queen. He's the entrepreneur behind the Virgin brand, the mogul behind Virgin Airlines, Virgin Mobile, now Virgin Space and Virgin Hyperloop, all sorts of crazy stuff they're doing, which is amazing. And it was an interview with him, and the question was posed, how do you protect your brand when you have all these different, kind of different styles of businesses all within the same brand? And he says you have to protect not only your business brand with a lot of vigor, but you also have to really strongly protect your personal brand. And the way he put it, I loved it, was so simple, was basically you never want to do anything where the next morning you wake up and if you were to read about that event or that decision you made on the news, you would not be happy. You always want to protect your brand, even if you might lose in the short term. You want to protect your long-term, the durability of your brand. So he had some amazing things to say, and it was an absolute pleasure to be part of the audience. All right, guys, so those were 5 big takeaways I took away from the Traffic and Conversion Summit in 2019. What did you like? What was your favorite takeaway here, or were you at the conference? Go ahead and leave that in the comments below and let me know what you thought and if you took anything different away. I've got pages and pages and pages of notes from this event, and I've got probably dozens and hundreds of pictures from different slides throughout the event. So I'll go ahead and over the next several days and weeks, I'll continue to reflect back on my notes and make smaller videos about the event to help you guys get more out of it. Again, I spent a lot of money to get there, but it was an amazing trip with my wife, my beautiful bride, and took a lot away. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure that you're always protecting your personal brand and that you're thinking beyond just the funnel and the entire customer journey when you're making your marketing funnels. All right, guys, I'll talk to you in the next one. See ya.